Jones Intercable presents Valley High School football. Tonight it's the second round of the CIF football playoffs as the Long Beach Wilson Bruins are in town to play the AV High Antelopes. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob McCune along with Brian Golden. And Brian, we have a blustery one here tonight for the second round.
We could use this to be a barn burner. It would warm things up, and we may see a barn burner tonight, Bob. The Long Beach Wilson Bruins play the same type of offense that we saw 2 games ago here at Mason. Final score that night, 54-38 for the Lopes.
Record-wise, the Bruins are 9-2, 5-0 in the Moore League.
5-2, 9-0, or 9-2 overall, and they won the Moore League. Last year they were up here, so they have some sense of what to expect weather-wise. They were sacrificed to Quartz Hill, 49-14 in the first round. But again, because of the veteran experience on this team, wingback Frank Russell and quarterback Brady Dunn, they've all played in these conditions before, and it's got to be an asset for them.
Okay, for the Antelopes, it was Peter Holt's night last week to get here.
Well, if someone else is going to make a mistake, then you let Peter Holt give them the boot out of the playoffs. That was a great call by Brent Newcomb. In a game like this, Peter Holt could prove to be the difference, but as you may see in the background, the wind is very strong tonight. I think one thing we'll see tonight is that Freddie Edwards will carry the football early, late, and a lot of times in between. When we were here 2 weeks ago and they lost to Quartz Hill, Brent Newcomb had some recriminations about his game plan because they tried to throw it that night. Not that Bayou Hilton doesn't need to play well, but Freddie Edwards is a young man who's had the fate of this program in his hands all year, and that'll be no different tonight.
Who do you pick?
I got to go with the Lopes and Mother Nature and Old Man Winter. They seem to be ganging up here. They're home for the holidays, and I think they'll get the Lopes to the semifinals.
I have them by 1, so here we go.
Let's go.
Okay, we'll be back with the opening kickoff after these messages, so don't go away.
Cards and Comics features the lowest prices and best selection on collector's cards and comics in the Valley. AV Cards
through the air, hot dog wrappers and what have you. And the Lopes love the wind at their back to start it.
Pat Baldwin to kick off for the Bruins. The wind will be swirling. He gets off a line drive hopper, and it looks like it might be Westberg picking it up there near the 28-yard line, going to be hit down. Boy, he runs it all the way back out, and they quite a good wedge there. Gave him some running room there, and Westberg really gave a good show there as far as getting in behind that blocking and moving it right up the middle.
Bob, when you're 5'4", 145 pounds, you really can deceive somebody bigger that you've been stopped. And almost like a water bug, Darren Westberg squirted out for an additional 6 yards in great field position for AV.
Hilton, the quarterback, Acosta and Edwards in the eye. They go to Acosta up the middle. He spins and turns and bangs his way out to the 45-yard line. The fullback, 5'10", 206-pound junior.
Carlos Acosta with his 51st carry of the year. He comes in averaging 5.1 yards. That was a pickup of 7, nearly 8 yards. And the Bear, or the Bull, I should say, as Bob McEwen calls him, missed 3 games in the middle of the year. And I think with the Lopes losing a couple of those games, his absence really showed.
Second down and 3, a 7-yard trip. This time Freddie Edwards up the middle. Hit hard for maybe a 1-yard gain at the very best. Freddie is 6'1", 172 pounds, and boy, the stats are glowing.
Well, 177 carries, 1,174 yards for the year, an average of 6.7 yards every time that he carries the football, Bob, and he's also scored 18 touchdowns, the leading scorer in the Antelope Valley this season, and I don't think I'm getting ahead of myself to suggest that he will be the Antelope Valley Press Player of the Year when we have our banquet later on in the month of December.
And 104 total points in the year has ranked him about 37th in all of Southern California. Pitched to Edwards around the right side. He is blasted near the first down marker, and he runs it ahead and right tight ropes along the sidelines.
Here you're seeing already tonight 2 wonderful second effort plays. First, we saw Darren Westberg turn a 2-yard gain into a 7-yard gain. And that time, it seemed like the pursuit had Freddie Edwards walled off here at the near side, but he broke loose, pulls across midfield, and gets a first down for the Antelopes. Let's have another look here. This is a marvelously elusive player. See, he never stops moving his feet, and then the great reverse pivot move, and all of a sudden, the Wilson defenders are clutching at thin air.
Jason Clark is the center, and boy, just a gale of wind came right through the press box, and papers went everywhere.
He's made us feel part of it too, Bob.
All right, Hilton pitch to Freddie Edwards, coming right behind, gets a good block by Acosta, and hits over the right-hand side. Acosta was leading a convoy over the right side for Freddie Edwards.
Freddie Edwards has had a lot of success this year running the short side. Well, short side, strong side, weak side, front side, back side, upside, down side. He scored and had a great year from all directions, but Clearly, he's the type of player that if you can get him in an isolation situation on the weak side of the field away from the strength of the defensive formation, he can make one step and turn it into a big play.
Rodney Flakes and Mike Fasati set out wide to the left-hand side. They might be throwing here. No, the Freddie Edwards up the middle, breaks a tackle at the 45, hit down to the 44-yard line.
That was a nice play by Matt Hewitt, number 45, the linebacker flowing from the inside. The initial contact was made up front by, it looked like Ryan Burns up there. And just as Freddie looks like he's going to wriggle free from that, the linebackers come up to finish him off. That's what they have to do if they're going to be effective against the Lopes tonight on defense.
Eric McQuown and Todd Barnes into the lineup now. Here's Hilton's going to throw, swings one out there, and it is caught. Hit out of bounds upfield, and a great job there by Eric McQuown. Just came into the lineup. And a good catch.
Eric McQuown was one of our A1 trophy winners in the game against Quartz Hill 2 weeks ago, Bob. And you know, when they list this young man's position on the roster, they ought to put U for utility. He plays defense, he runs the football, he plays some wing back, some tight end. Whatever Brett Newcomb needs to be done is what Eric McQuown comes up with. There's another big play to keep the chains moving.
And that's his 17th catch on the year. So he's an all-around football star. Hilton over to Costa, tries the middle, has a good gainer, still on his feet and has the first down. Inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Well, rarely tonight have we had a red shirt stopped by the Bruins in the maroon and gold on the very first try. That time, Carlos Acosta simply defeated the initial tackle attempt, ran over the second guy, and then left the field strewn with Bruins in his wake. Another first down, consecutive first downs for the Lopes, who are now inside the Long Beach 20.
Keith Amancha just came out of the lineup. Graham Hill checked in. Freddie Edwards over the left side. Boy, they gang up on him for short yardage, maybe about 1. Up front, Jason Clark, Jeff Sponenberg, and Carl Taylor at the guards. John Bergener and Mario Amaro back in the lineup tonight after missing last week's ball game, the week before, too, against Quartz Hill. Garrett Dow at the tight end, Rodney Flakes at the split end.
We saw a nice play there on defense, flowing to the ball carrier by number 48, Frankie Russell, who's also a wingback. Good play there to keep Freddie Edwards from getting away from David Kladd, who had him around the ankles.
They mark it right at the 20. Freddie Edwards up the middle, has a good hole, spins, turns inside the 15. He could go all the way to the corner. He is hit down out of bounds near a touchdown, they say. He hit the marker. Touchdown by Edwards from the 20 out there, Brian, I believe it was.
Well, he might give him credit for a 19-yard touchdown. The ball, I think, was just across the stripe. But there again, the brilliance of number 15, Freddie Edwards, a play that was supposed to go inside, makes contact with a defender, 2 defenders, 3, 4, 5, spins to the outside, there's 6, and then it's simply a race to the cone, and he beats number 21, Richard Ashley, and the Lopes are on the football, are on the scoreboard with a 63-yard scoring drive after the opening kickoff.
Peter Holt, that has 38 points, has a high snap, the kick is up, and it is no good. The timing was thrown way off on that, Brian, on that high snap, so the Lopes have a 6-0 lead, and we have 8:37 to go in the first quarter in case you joined us late.
Here's another view from the top. Tim Ellersich, who's really going to earn his spurs up there. Disappearing into the twilight zone goes Freddie Edwards. A touchdown and a 6-0 lead. When's the last time Peter Holt missed a PAT?
Well,
or any kick of substance?
He doesn't miss at all, Brian, but I think that high snap did him in. He was, that's his second miss of the year. He was 14 out of 15 coming into this ball game.
Bob, this is important. You know, they had problems with that center exchange, the snap on the placements. That was a difference in the ball game against Quartz Hill 2 weeks ago. They have got to get that center snap for the field goal attempts down, because it cost them 2 touchdowns. They can't give up 2 touchdowns in a game like this.
You know, while we're talking about the kicking game, of course, Peter Holt does the place kicking and also the punting. But one ball game during the regular season, Robert Russo came in and booted his only punt of the year, 63 yards, and we inadvertently said that it was Peter Holt. But Robert, we apologize. We know that you got off the record kick of 63 yards, and you're a good one. Holt to kick off now. High driving kick is going to say way out of the end zone and possibly up to the locker room.
Well, there's a good reason for that, Bob. We just saw number 30 in your picture is Kevin McKenzie, and he is the leading rusher for the Bruins this season, has carried for 830 yards. It's a good idea to keep the football out of his hands.
Peter Holt, 59.2 yards on every kickoff so far this year, and he has booted 46 as of now into the end zone.
And there you see again, sartorially dressed out tonight. There's Coach Brent Newcomb and Marco Johnson in the back, and Dave Keyser, the man with the Sports Connection who comes up with those homemade, wonderful down jackets for the local coaches.
Brady Dunn, the quarterback. He'll go back, and here comes their I-back coming around the right hand. That's McKenzie. He's going to be strung out and hit out of bounds near the 26-yard line. McKenzie's a junior at 6 foot, 170 pounds. He'll run out of the lone setback in most of these positions because they'll set their 2 halfbacks outside of the tight end and the wide receiver in a lot of positions.
David Lewandowski was the guard who pulled number 76, and he seemed to have a step out there. But I believe it was C.J. Fagan, number 22, or I guess it was Eric McQuown.
The Jet was out there, too.
Eric McQuown misses the tackle here as McKenzie runs through the arm tackle, but then a good solid hit by Richard Lear to finish the play.
So that's going to be 2nd down and 4, a 6-yard gain by McKenzie. This time Poyer is in as the lone setback. They'll go on the reverse. That's Hicks. Hicks is around the right-hand side, and they strung him out and blasted him down good there. Good job out there by John Bergener.
These are the type of plays that gave the Antelopes trouble in that game with Saugus, running those wingbacks inside. And Jimmy Hicks this year, Bob, has rushed for 590 yards. We haven't even seen number 48, Frank Russell, carry the football yet, but he has rushed for 640. So a running attack that has generated 2,000 yards, they're just divided very evenly and democratically among 3 ball carriers.
Chris Walters, James Haywood, John Bergener, and Carl Taylor, the front 4. They're down coming up in 4. Long count by Brady. He's going to throw. Fires one out, and it's caught by Ashley. Ashley went up there, and the Jet drilled him.
Well, it's an incomplete pass because if it was a completion, Bob, that's got to be a fumble recovery by Chris Walters. Oh, the Lear Jet gets in the takeoff path and puts the stick on him, and Long Beach fails to convert on their first attempt, and the Antelopes will get the football back. You know, I think when we saw Brady Dunn come to the line of scrimmage, he was rubbing his hands. That was to generate some heat on his hands, not because he relished the thought of going against that low defense.
Richard Ashley back to punt. He's 5th in all of Southern California, a 42.2 average. His longest this year, Brian, a 62-yarder.
And he's going to need all of that into this wind. We saw that ball tail as they tried to run the short slant. That shows you how disruptive the wind is tonight, Bob.
Ashley back to punt. Dangerous high snap. Here comes the rush. Blocked by Dreyer. They could have got it in the end zone. Let's see. Dreyer came in there and knocked that punt down before it ever got airborne.
You know, they have a play they run for this young man, number 81, Eugene Dreyer, called Eugenius. It's on offense, but really he's made a lot of big plays on special teams and on defense this year, and there's a big one right there for the Lopes. But I thought there was some discussion that, you see, Dreyer was at least 2 steps across the line of scrimmage, nearly before the ball got to the punter.
And, you know, it looked kind of like Ashley might have got back there. And
Bob, there was a flag on the play. This is all going to go for naught. He did a nice job. Ashley did simply to get to the football, and then Dreyer spiked it. However, there was a penalty against Antelope Valley, and it's going to cost dearly, and it's going to be first down for Long Beach. We'll have to see. Bob, how about our officiating crew tonight?
Oh, we got a good crew, and they happen to come from the South Bay League. Your referee is Paul Mantalino. Sal Failure is the umpire. Head linesman is Eric Nakahara. Greg Wilson is the back judge, and line judge is Grady Mock.
Oh, I apologize. I did not see the call he made. It was some kind of a 15-yard infraction, though.
There is McKenzie. He wrestles his way straight ahead, and boy, what a gainer for a first down. Boy, he picked up a lot of good blockers upfield and ran it all the way out near the 37-yard line.
Well, that's a gain of 16 yards on that play by Kevin McKenzie, who is approaching the 900-yard mark for the season. How's this for a turnaround, though? The Lopes would have had the ball first and goal at the 5. Instead, Long Beach Wilson has the ball first and 10 at their 43-yard line. That's only a difference of 52 yards in field position.
Near the 37. First down, they have Poyer back then as the lone setback. They reverse it around. Oh, the Antelopes stayed right there with him and dug in and hit him down. Tried the halfback reverse over there, and it looked like it might have been Russell over there as they unfold.
That's Jimmy Hicks again, Bob, coming from that slot position, running from left to right. Watch it again, the big fullback belly fake, and then they pull the guard here to the near side. Nice play behind the point of attack by James Haygood, number 78, to strip the interference and get around the ankles of Hicks and slow him down.
Hicks is 5'8", 165 pounds, and boy, he took the fake first off to Frank Russell. Frank shot up the middle, and then he got him coming around. They'll do a lot of that. They like to have this misdirection type of play tonight. 2-yard gains. 2nd down and 8 coming up. Now they go this time to Russell around the right-hand side. They alternate those halfbacks, and boy, they strung that thing out beautifully.
The ball was loose momentarily there, but it is still Long Beach football. The ball squirting loose after the referees had blown the whistle. You know, this type of defense could be effective against AV. They're coached to be very aggressive, Bob, and very instinctive football players to simply come flying right after the snap. This is the kind of an offense that makes you stop and think, and that's when you get this defense away from reacting, just simply playing the game instinctively. How's that for stick there by Heath Renfro, number 32, taking on Russell, head up, man for man.
3rd down and 8 coming up. This time Hicks comes over to set over here. It looks like they might be throwing because Ashley's out on the wing. They leave Poyer as the lone setback. Here's Dunn going to go back to throw. Has time. Fires one out there. It is incomplete, intended for this time Hicks. Hicks was open out there, and it looked like he kind of gave up on it.
Well, that was a nice throw by Brady Dunn, the quarterback. Bob, the first throw he made looked like a little bit of a slider because it tailed away at the last second. This is a bullet right into the teeth of the wind, and I think you're exactly right. I think Jimmy Hicks simply gave up on that football and thinking that maybe that Dunn couldn't deliver the ball through that strong wind.
James Haywood checks out.
Watch it again. That's a nice throw by a quarterback who's not used to playing in these conditions. Nice play by Brady Dunn.
Now Ashley's going to try to punt again, and this time he says, watch out for that number 81. Don't let him through. See if they have. It's a good snap this time. Here comes the rush. Gets off a high, wobbly punt downfield. And the Bruins are all around it, and the Antelopes are getting in there too close. They should have bailed out of there on a dangerous hopping football such as it was.
Well, no damage done, though, Bob. It is Long Beach Wilson football. Oh, there were some red shirts. You can never get it. You can never gauge the bounce of a football, especially a live ball. You got to stay away from a kick like that.
Boy, and as strong as that wind's coming out of the north, this is really unusual.
Well, you know, Bailey Hilton's wearing number 12, but the 12th man for the Lopes tonight is Old Man Winter. And he is blowing hard tonight, left to right on your screen.
Well, you saw some papers come by here. They must have been clocked at about 300.
It's so windy, it was Sunday's papers that were blowing by.
All right. Here's Hilton back to throw. Swings one out there and is caught by Fasati. It looks like it's down on the ground. Incomplete for Doug. Mike Fasati was open, and the ball goes incomplete.
Well, I wonder when Rodney Flakes gets back to the huddle, number 44, I think he's going to tell that young man right there, Bailey Hilton, I was open. We'll watch this again. Oh, that's the kind of ball you got to hold on to. Got the wind at your back like that. But, you know, and Mark Collard had a feature in the Antelope Valley Press on Friday about Rodney Flakes, about how he just manages to get open. It's as if no one takes him seriously as a receiver. He just happens to lead the Valley in receiving with 39 catches, and he was open upfield that time.
2nd down. Freddie Edwards up the middle. Short yardage. Boy, they stack him up and drive him down.
Troy Cooks crashed in from the defensive end spot, number 9, who also plays some linebacker. Good solid tackle.
Jason Clark at the center. Jeff Sponenberg and Carl Taylor at the guards. Mario Amaro and John Bergener at the tackles. The tight end Garrett Dow that was out with an injury here just a couple of weeks ago against Quartz Hill. Rodney Flakes, of course, the split in. Flakes wide left. Mike Fasati to the near side. 3rd down coming up, and here is the faking the draw, and he gets it to Freddie Edwards. Edwards runs it upfield for a 1st down. Beautiful draw play and a great call.
Boy, beautifully executed by Bailey Hilton, too, as he made them bite on the drop back here. There's Freddie, gets away from the first contact, and these, you know, Bob, this young man always has a nose for being in the right place at the right time. He needed to get to exactly where he is to get the 1st down, and it's 1st down. He has a marvelous sense of where he is on the field and what needs to be done in a given situation, and when you're playing this game full blast, that is really a remarkable ability, and that's why these Division I guys are being asked, please put your tongue back in your mouth when you watch this young man play.
Okay, 1st down. Hilton's going to go over to Freddie Edwards over the left-hand side. He plows his way for about a 5-yard scamper. Boy, he got in behind Bergener and Sponenberg over there.
You know, Bob, we're almost at a pace now where Freddie will carry the football more in the 1st quarter than he did in that game against Quartz Hill 2 weeks ago. Lead off the left side, just enough of a crack across the line of scrimmage, and then Freddie Edwards accelerates to pick up a gain of 5.
Hit down by middle linebacker Bishop Cohen, 6'2", 200-pound junior. 2nd down and 5 coming up. at the 35-yard line. Here comes Acosta. He's blasted down for about a 2-yard gain. Boy, Acosta just comes out of there like a wild man with that football.
And a nice play on that corner by Jim Hicks, who suddenly found himself on the misdirection one-on-one with Carlos Acosta. Stood up the fullback until help could arrive with the rest of the Bruins. So 3rd down and a long 2 situation here.
Again, Bishop Cohen helped out on that hit. Good, alert inside linebacker. They're down coming up. Hilton's back to throw, has it on his hip. He's going to be sacked and hit down right at the 35-yard line.
Here's that fine all-around athlete we've been talking about, number 48, Frankie Russell, blitzing from an inside linebacker spot. This time they did not buy the play fake, and he was on Bailly Hilton's hip all the way. Here he comes, stepping across the line of scrimmage, and when Bailly thought he had an escape route, Frankie Russell put him on his hip. So 4th down, and now the Lopes will kick it away, and this will be interesting. Peter Holt, as if he needs it, with about a 60-mile-an-hour tailwind.
He's averaging 37.7 yards per punt this year. Ashley, high driving kick. McKenzie has the ball at the 15. Gets behind Ashley now. Tries to pick up a block. Gets one. Now he's going to be hammered down as they ram him out of bounds. Way over there near the 21-yard line.
Well, that's a 49-yard punt by Peter Holt, and it looked like it was about 49 yards high, too. Had a lot of hang time on it, and that allows good coverage. You know, it looked like there was enough of a separation there with the coverage team that Ashley could make something happen, but he ran laterally more than he ran vertically, and he only picked up 7 yards on the return.
Well, he could see nothing but red if he would have ran straight ahead. The Big Red Machine, their 2nd game in the CIF football playoffs. Only 5 teams left from right around here.
And one of those is playing 8-man football.
8-man out at Marauder Stadium tonight. The Eagles from Antelope Valley Christian. There's the inside handoff, and boy, I'll tell you, they really ripped him just when he got to the line of scrimmage.
And that is Kevin McKenzie again, Bob, who has been their leading ground gainer this year. That he's hoping to get over 900 yards tonight. Committed the game with 830 yards and had 6 yards on his first carry of the ball game.
Brian, like McKenzie, several of these guys go both ways, and this could be a telling factor later in the ball game here tonight.
It's interesting to see a Division I school like this with the enrollment of a Long Beach Wilson to have that number of two-way players. I think what it is a credit to the versatility and the athleticism of the young men involved. But again, Bob, this may as much be a game of survival as a game of football tonight in these conditions, and that's going to take a bite out of that endurance of these young men from the visiting team. There's a flag thrown, and it looks like it's going to be a delay of game. It was thrown by the field judge, and for a second it looked like it might have been a bedsheet banner that got away. It was just billowing out there in midfield. Here's our referee. These gentlemen in from the South Bay.
Boy, they don't like this weather up here either.
And it's a delay of game. That's what the call is. So it'll be 2nd and 11.
All right, behind Brady Dunn. Here we go again. Be 2nd down and 11 coming up. They give it off. Here comes the reverse, and this is Russell. Russell is trying to get outside. Can he get some running room? No. Boy, the Antelopes gang tackle him just the way they've been taught all season long.
And you know that somewhere near the bottom of that herd of antelopes unpiling will be number 15, Freddie Edwards. It'll be 3rd down, Bob. This is interesting. That penalty really kept Long Beach from being able to run out the clock and get the wind at their back. We have 30 seconds left in the first quarter, but they're looking at having to punt this ball if they don't get the first down with the wind in their faces here.
Big play right here early in the ball game. And here's Dunn going to go back to throw. Fires one out. It is going to be incomplete to Frank Russell. Frank was open, and he kind of did a fingertip drill. It goes incomplete.
Well, that's the type of play that they probably have executed very well in the past. But again, the elements become involved here. I think Brady Dunn has been compensating for this wind and gets that ball a little bit too high for Frankie Russell to put it away. So on 4th down, the incomplete stops the clock and forces Ashley, number 21 is your punter, Richard Ashley, to have to kick this one into the teeth of this Antelope Valley wind tonight.
Ashley's done it very well so far this year. 5th in all of Southern California in the rankings. His longest punt this year, 62 yards. Okay, so with 11 seconds to go, the end of the first quarter, the score. AV High 6 and Long Beach Wilson nothing. We'll return after these messages. Okay, Ashley's back to punt, ready to go. Wonder if they have a trick play up their sleeve. Now they're going to just go for it. He gets off. Oh, that thing is going absolutely nowhere. Out of bounds. And Brian, he might have maybe about a net 6 or 7 yards in that at the very best. Was that blocked? Or did that just catch the teeth of the wind and go sailing out of bounds?
I think that got up in the wind chill factor. Gene Dreyer was crashing from the left side, but I think Ashley was might have been intimidated by all of the elements and the Lopes coming after him. And the kick is only good for 16 yards. So first down, Antelope Valley.
Big break.
At the 42-yard line. Let's see what they do here, Bob. They only have the wind at their back for another 5 seconds.
Hilton's going to roll out. Taking his time, going to be in a lot of trouble and sacked. Hit down at the 45-yard line. They got to him again. He's taking a lot of time back there, Brian, not moving around very quick in the pocket.
Bob, I have to apologize. I couldn't see that play. The Jones Intercable program listings went blowing by and were blocking my vision there for a second. Here's Bailly. Boy, you've got to pull the trigger quicker than that if you're going to be on so close to the line of scrimmage. Good pass rush there by Long Beach Wilson.
It's the last chance for quite a while that he'll have this wind, so-called wind, that is at his back. It's more like a typhoon out here. Yeah, he got himself in a little bit of trouble. Down he went.
Well, now let's see what the Lopes can do, as the 12th man tonight is going to be in the gold and the cardinal of the Long Beach Wilson Bruins, because now AV will have to go to the teeth of this wind.
At the 46-yard line, first play of the second quarter, the Antelopes lead the ball game 6-0 on a unofficially 20-yard, call it 19 or so, by Freddie Edwards touchdown run. The point after, surprisingly, missed by Peter Holt. Only his second miss this year on points after, but it was a high snap that threw the timing off. Rodney Flakes to the near side. They give it off to Freddie Edwards up the middle. Looks for some running room, finds some, runs it all the way to the 40-yard line.
Now, there's a case of Freddie Edwards making something out of absolutely nothing. When he arrived at the line of scrimmage, there were as many white shirts in the gaps as there were red shirts trying to create some movement. But the great instinct of this young man, Bob, is that he will just find the beginnings of a crutches. He finds a crease to the left side, and then he can accelerate through the hole and change directions without having to slow down to do it. You know, Brent Newcomb told me, and one of the UCLA recruiters was up here at practice the other day, and he just couldn't stop raving about Freddie Edwards. Said he could play for them right now.
Here's Hilton rolling left. Looks, oh, he is really dumped. He is hit hard just when he unloads that football, and man, what a shot he took. It might have been Bishop Cohen.
I tell you what, if the Bishop keeps this up, he might be promoted to Cardinal by the end of this game.
Bishop Cohen, the middle linebacker, 6'2", 200 pounds, just leveled Hilton.
Well, Bishop has been leading the flock that has been chasing Bailly Hilton tonight. By the way, we want to give a lot of credit to Dave Desmond of the LA Times Valley section and Danny Schumacher of the Daily News tonight. They have opted not to be up here in the warm press box with us, but down there in the combat in the freezing cold on the sidelines.
Back to punt is Holt. Gets off a driving one into the wind. It's going to head toward the corner and out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Good kick there. Did just exactly what he wanted to do in the coffin corner.
29-yard punt by Peter Holt, but more importantly, he pooches it inside the 15-yard line and makes that Long Beach Wilson team a play on what Hank Stram calls the long field.
That's what Harold Barkate, when they had the two punters for UCLA down there, once in a while he was called upon to be the pooch punter. But the way he boomed them, he was one of the longer punters in the whole conference. All right, Brady trying to get something moving here. They go to McKenzie to the left-hand side. Oh, does he have quick acceleration? He's out near the 20-yard line.
Running to the wide side of the field, Kevin McKenzie, and good pursuit by the Lopes to keep that from being a bigger gain than it actually was. Still, it was about 7 yards.
7-yard gain on the play.
Simple, actually kind of a delay to the left side, and Richard Lear and Chris Walters were over there on the stop.
Lewandowski, 6'2", 220-pound tackle, was pulling and out in front of him. They have Ashley to the near side. Second down and 3, a 7-yard gain on that last try. This time he's back to throw. Dunn sets up, fires one out there. It is intended for McKenzie this time, and it goes incomplete.
That's incomplete. McKenzie, the intended receiver.
You know, that's 3 times tonight, Bob, that Brady Dunn's receivers have betrayed him. He's put the ball right in their hands. He has made the adjustment to the elements here, but it doesn't look like the other Bruins have actually simply shaken off the shock to their systems of these conditions and just come out and start playing their game. Well, he made that throw right in with the defensive end right in his face over there, too. He has thrown for 1,100 yards this season has Brady Dunn, the quarterback for Long Beach Wilson.
10:31 to go till halftime. It's 3rd down and 3 coming up. Back to throw, and here goes Hicks around the left-hand side on that reverse, and he's going to be hammered out of bounds over there.
Yeah, he had a nose for the sticks, though. Looks like it will be a 1st down for Long Beach. And a nice piece of quickness to get to the outside by Hicks, and then some durability to take on the defenders as to get to the stick. Again, the guard pulls outside, and he takes a man on and steps across the 1st down marker, and it's another 1st down for Long Beach. 10.5 minutes to play in the 1st half, and the Lopes leading it in the CIF Division I quarterfinals, 6-0. So coming wide to the near side again is this Richard Ashley. They say he is one of the most dangerous guys in their conference down there. Done taking a long time. Rolling out, here it comes to a halfback, and that looks like it might be Hicks again. Hit down for short yardage. No, that's McKenzie. McKenzie, they faked to Hicks and gave it to McKenzie coming around. See, Bob, that's the simple sweep play here as they get 2 guards outside, but well, you see, number 55 over there, Larry Harris, was just looking for somebody to block. And one of the Lopes stepped inside of him and put the stop on Kevin McKenzie. But again, good productivity on 1st down, a pickup of 6 yards.
The outside linebackers, Eric McQuown and Eugene Dreyer, we should say, after blocking that great punt that they didn't give him credit for after the penalty early in the ball game. There's Dunn, straight drop back. Sets up, fires one, and it goes incomplete and almost picked off. And boy, was Ashley in heavy traffic. He had 4 red uniforms surrounding him.
But Bob, as we'll see on this replay, he was open in traffic, and the ball was in his hands, and he really wasn't in too much of an exposed position. It wasn't like he had to reach way over his head. Watch this again. This is a nice throw by Dunn. Right in his hands, and he might have heard all kinds of a whole, chorus of footsteps over there. Maybe that's why he dropped the football. But that is 4 drop passes, and these things are going to start adding up for the visitors from Long Beach here before too long.
Heath Renfro and Jason Harvey, the inside linebackers for the Antelopes, doing an excellent job. Boy, are they quick, and did they love to hit. Sadi and Lear, the cornerbacks. Dunn back to throw again, throws an alley-oop, and it is tipped and almost intercepted. Boy, very close. Great job by the Jet and McQuown. They were all out there. Richard Lear, boy, great quickness.
Good reaction to the thrown football, and a dangerous pass by the Long Beachers because it was thrown to the wide side of the field and took a while to get there, and Lear makes a nice break to the ball. The receiver, I thought for a second, Ashley might have had a second chance on the tip, Bob, but instead, 4th down, and now we will see Mr. Ashley with the benefit of that wind at his back.
And he might just kick this one to Palmdale.
There's Ralph Vandrow, the principal here at Antelope Valley High School, and hasn't he done an outstanding job? School spirit this year, and a number of different activities for AVHS.
Ashley back to punt. One man rush. This time he gets a low end-over-end kick, and Freddie Edwards is going to let it bounce. Yeah, no, we had it. We almost had that ball touched by the Antelopes down around blocking downfield. And that's the type of, Brian, that they run into and get the ball turned over to the other team.
Well, that was a kick of 50 yards with the bounce and no return. And the Antelopes are all the way back in their own end of the field. And now we'll see whether how much of an effect on them the wind has. They're not really an offense that's predicated on throwing the ball. They're going to keep it close to the earth here because that's the percentage play.
We were talking about the lights. Now I think Quartz Hill has the best lights. Now Palmdale is second. Hilton fires one out there to Flakes, and he makes the catch for very short yardage. Rodney Flakes did a super job of catching that ball off of the grass top.
Boy, that is a heck of a catch. It was a simple hitch, and Bailey Hilton threw the ball behind him. Rodney Flakes does something for his quarterback's confidence when he catches that ball, Bob, because that'll give Bailey Hilton a little bit more conviction the next time he has to pull.
Second down and 8. And Freddie, he runs into a real big wall of Bruins up front there, led by Brian Poirier and DeMarco Ford, 6 foot, 205-pound junior.
Very active linebacker, Frankie Russell, number 48, who scored both touchdowns last year when Wilson visited Quartz Hill and lost 49-14 in the first round of the playoffs. Watch him again as he fills in on that hole to help out on the tackle with Booker and a number of the other defenders up front. Wherever number 15 goes, a number of eyes will follow.
And bodies right there with them. It's 3rd down and 5 coming up. Hilton pitched to Freddie Edwards coming around the left-hand side, gets a block, turns the corner, and it looks like a flag might have gone down. Freddie is still on his feet, He is going to be wrestled down near the 35-yard line, but I think we might have had a flag upfield.
There was probably some type of an illegal block, but there you see the marvelous creativity on the run of Freddie Edwards, who it is clipping against the Antelopes. So this play is going to come back, which is too bad because the football went all the way down to the 40-yard line. That was a 27-yard run to the short side by Freddie Edwards, and it really negates right there. You saw a great block out front by Carlos Acosta. The Bull just wiped out 3 white shirts. That was a 32-yard run by Edwards, pardon me. It's all academic, though, because the mark-off will be against the Lopes. And the thing that's maddening about that, Bob, is the block was behind the point of attack. Freddie didn't need that block in order to get up the field.
Exactly.
Instead, it brings the play all the way back to the other end of the field. But, boy, did Acosta ever... It looked like we're down at Brunswick Lanes there, the old AV Bull. He took out the 7-9-10 split over there.
Okay. So it's way back. Hill gives off this time to McClown. No, that looks like Flakes. Flakes has his hands on the ball this time. Rodney Flakes running out of the I-back position.
Boy, Rodney Flakes was shown a seat on the sideline there. Watch this replay. Not only does he get to the outside, there's a block again by Acosta to create some room, but watch Frankie Russell say, come here, we got you to sit down over here on the sideline.
A body slam. Getting ready for the wrestling season.
Well, 4th down, and Peter Holt will be tested now, Bob.
Boy, this is where you don't want that high snap again with the wind. Oh, it's high, but he makes a good catch and just gets it off. Woo, up into the teeth of the wind. And, boy, they're going to down it right there near the 44-yard line. Oh, very dangerous.
Boy, it was a 21-yard punt, but it was really a dangerous play at the other end by Kevin McKenzie to try to field that ball.
That almost got away from him.
He made the smart play simply to try to smother it, cover it.
Now that gives the Bruins excellent field position at the Antelopes' 43-yard line.
There's defensive coordinator George Fetters motioning out to his defense. Haven't they played well the last few
Really
weeks?
well. This could be a big down right here. They're going to try something big. They give it to McKenzie, trying the left-hand side. Can they string him out? They do. Beautiful job of hitting him down for about a 3-yard gain.
Chris Walters slides down the line of scrimmage and makes the tackle here. Boy, that's a nice play, too, because they pull these 2 big guards, 230 pounds and 245. And Chris Walters is not that big,
160.
160.
5'6".
They just can't find him to block him. And he just slides inside and makes the tackle on McKenzie.
He's like a mole. He comes up from under the ground and gets these guys. So they mark it at the 40. 2nd down coming up and a long 6. And here is Dunn back to throw. They flush him out of the pocket. He has time, throws for the end zone. The man's open. Touchdown to Ashley. Boy, he really burned Fasati and the Jet out there, both cornerbacks.
Boy, give Brady Dunn a lot of credit for scrambling to buy some time for himself and then making a perfect throw to Ashley.
40-yard touchdown bomb from Dunn to Ashley.
There's
and
a
it's
play
even.
fake, steps away from Bergener, and this is a beautiful throw. And you wonder why the 2 defensive backs out there, Bob, could have been so interested in watching the quarterback run with the football that they would come up to play the run and let the young man get so far behind them.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Really burned on a cold night.
And don't forget, he's got the wind at his back. That may have been they saw this team try to throw the football into the wind, but they got to remember, with the wind at his back, Brady Dunn becomes that much more effective a passer.
Jeffrey Prince is the 8th best PAT and field goal kicker in all of Southern California. He kicks it up, and it is good. That's why. He had 43 points coming into the ball game. 2 field goals, 1 a 49-yarder. So the score now, the Bruins from Wilson High School out of Long Beach, 7, the 80 High Antelope 6.
Well, Bob, when I said the kicking... An extra point.
All right, the Antelopes now have the work cut out for them. They know that this Bruin bunch from Long Beach, Wilson High School, can play some football, no matter what the weather's like.
Just when I said we thought the kicking game would be a difference, Bob, we never thought it'd be the difference of the way it is now, that Peter Holt couldn't make an extra point and the visitors could.
So Baldwin will kick it off with the wind at his back. And boy, it's blowing about as hard as you can ever see a wind. This is a line drive knuckler. It's going to go, and they let it go right on through into the end zone. Kind of a strange setup. That happened one time against the Quartz Hill game there, Brian, letting the ball just go right between them.
You know, we've talked about this before, Bob. When you have such an electric young man to return it as Freddie Edwards, the other team's going to try to kick it away from them. But sometimes it's not in the interest of the team receiving it to say, well, under no circumstances will anyone else return the football. If you let a football bounce 25 yards, hope that Freddie will catch it, and then fake 9 guys out, you're defeating your purpose on the special teams. That was a case there where that kick went right down the middle, and they could have signaled, you know, with the 2 hands over the head, good. As it was, though, it looked like there was an offside on the play. I guess it was offsides on the Antelopes because they are kicking off now from the 45-yard line.
Very strange.
Or some kind of an infraction against the Lopes. Might have been in that restraining area at midfield, I guess. And they'll try to kick it again, and this is a benefit maybe to AV if they can get the football and get a nice return out past the 20, which is where they would have been.
That's where they want to be. You have to get it past the 20. That's your goal, number one. With Freddie Edwards back there and, of course, Rodney Flakes, they could go all of the way.
And now you're looking at a young man out there that has to hold the football so it won't fall over. I guess that's Matt Hewitt who will hold it. And here's an enormous placement kick by your kicker, Pat Baldwin.
So here we go. Baldwin this time catches it high. It's going to sail into the end zone. Was it good?
It was good. Oh, it was good. That'll give you 6 points for that.
Went right through the uprights. So it's a touchback, and they'll take it on their 20-yard line.
How about that return to the kickoff last week by Loyola? Chris Econ, that we saw play for Loyola here, had a 90-yard kickoff return. They had that whole committee. They had a huddle around the football on the receiving team, and then Econ ran out and had the ball, went 90 yards against Saugus. And the play was so exciting that Greg Gumbel and company on the NFL Today on CBS on Thanksgiving Day decided to show that in their highlight package.
So it's at the 20. Acosta gets the call. He's going to be rammed down for maybe about a 1-yard gain at the very best. Boy, that play is not working. Well, going up against Poyer, the nose tackle, and boy, is he a tough one, 6 foot, 215 pounds.
They're having a tough time moving him, and he is creating enough traffic that the rest of these very reactive Bruins are flowing to the football. In case you hear some sound in the back, directly above us is the visitors' coaching booth, and these coaches are into this game. They're getting excited and exhorting their kids all the way over here on this side of the field.
Graham Hill and Rodney Flakes to the near side. They pitch to Freddie Edwards over the left-hand side. He fumbles the ball, and it looks like the Bruins might be on top of it. Bruins pick it up, and it looks like Russell is going to ramble into the end zone. But
Frank Russell with the recovery and a big turnover there, and Long Beach gets a football deep in Antelope Valley territory.
Big turnover, and it is costly.
Let's see who strips this here, Bob. There's the pitch. They get Freddie to the outside. And let's give it to your friend Bishop Cohen.
Yeah,
boy, he put a good stick on Freddie and stripped the football out of there.
Along with some help from Ray Booker, the defensive end. 6'1", 190 pounds, so great field position near the 20-yard line for the Bruins. They lead at 7-6. We're in the second quarter with 4:26 to go till halftime. Dunn back to throw. He has time, throws an alley-oop for the corner. The man's there, and they say incomplete. A one-on-one with the Jet was out there, and boy, that was a close one. Too close for comfort out there.
Well, that's Frank Russell, the young man who made the recovery of the fumble. Simple fade pattern. Nice throw by Dunn. You watch this. He gets his hands on the football. But, boy, Richard Lear just got in the path and trajectory of that ball enough to disrupt the rhythm of it and keep Frank Russell from making the touchdown catch.
At the 21-yard line. Boy, this is a big play team. You can see it right now. They give this passer Dunn all night long to throw. Nobody's getting near him. So it's second down. Dunn's rolling out to throw this time again. Throws for the end zone. It's one-on-one again. And as Fasadi's out there and he got the angle, a good position on him, and it goes incomplete.
Well, they had trips to the left, 3 receivers to the left, and they throw to the tight end on the near side of the field. And it looked to me, Bob, like the receiver on this side left early. So they actually got away with one there, it looks like.
There was Joseph Hunter, the tight end, out there on that play.
They got away with one because it just didn't look like everybody left on the same count there. But the referees let it go, and it'll be 3rd and 10. So the Lopes have dodged a couple of bullets here. There's Frank Russell and Kevin McKenzie over there, number 30. Russell, number 48. Here, the wing back on the right side of the screen.
All right. Big third down play and 10. There, Dunn's back to throw again. He's throwing out to Russell. Russell is open and is knocked down by the Jet. Beautiful job out there by Richard Lear. Boy, the man was open. That was Hunter. And Lear just came out of there. Another sortie for him here tonight.
Boy, Brady Dunn wishes he had this football back because he realizes he floated it just too much. There was the fake, and there was just too much lift, and a great reaction there by Richard Lear to make sure that he got both the football and the receiver, so there'd be no mistake. Here's a simple play fake. And initially, Russell's unaccounted for out in the flat. Then great reaction by Lear to force a field goal attempt.
That's Jeffrey Prince. It's down. The kick is up. It's high enough, far enough, and it is good. He sailed that baby right through there, Brian.
Well, that's a field goal of 37 yards for Pat Baldwin, and it is now a 10-6 lead for the visitors from Long Beach Wilson.
4:03 till halftime, and boy, I'll tell you, this bunch from Wilson High School out of Long Beach really came to play here tonight. For a while, I didn't think they wanted to get off the bus.
Well, Bob, the interesting thing is, as long as AV's offense pounds it out and grinds it out on the ground, I think then you can start getting inside their helmets and playing some head games. There's Freddie Edwards, who's been known to have a few people talking to themselves after playing the Lopes. But when you give them a break like this, all of a sudden now they don't feel the weather. They don't think this is uncomfortable. They're loving this. This is okay. And you don't want them, you want them to focus on how uncomfortable they are. Right now they're feeling pretty comfortable with how things are going here.
Baldwin back to kick off. Very well-disciplined football team. High driving kick. Rodney Flayton, they let it go out of the end zone. It's going to be a touchback, and the Lopes will take over once again on their own 20-yard line.
Bob, I'll make one prediction at this point. We will not see a touchdown scored in the end zone to the left of your screen tonight. Nobody scores into the wind. I think everything we're going to see tonight is going to be on the right side end zone there.
Patricia Fergoso, our producer for Jones Intercable. Todd Post is directing the show tonight. Technical director Bob Katz. On the graphics, Mark Allen. Audio and instant replay, Alan Williamson. Top camera, Tim Ellersich. Lori Losi on the field camera as they pitch to Freddie Edwards. Tries the left side. They got an angle on him. He broke a tackle, broke another one. Hit down very close to the 30-yard line, maybe the 31 for a first down. And production assistant, Todd Kunkel.
And our official wardrobe tonight, not by the guy from Sherman Oaks or wherever, but Dave Keyser from Fort Sill and the Sports Connection. Outfitting and warming up our people on the side. And I'm glad they got Lori Losi a hat down there because it is cold.
Oh, it's cold.
Nice piece of running by Freddie Edwards to make a first down on what looked like maybe a 3 or 4 yard gain. Watch how he reads the play here, Bob. He slows down, picks up his speed, slows down, lets another guy miss, turns on the Jets. First down, AV.
Bishop Cohen on top of him. Freddie Edwards up the middle, cuts back. Going to get another good gainer out, maybe about 5 yards in the trip there. And on top of him, Ray Booker, the defensive end.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bob. I went to a Catholic high school, and I didn't see the Bishop as many times as these guys are seeing him tonight. Bishop Cohen doing a wonderful job flowing all over the field for Long Beach Wilson. But again, a nice play by Freddie Edwards to take an innocent-looking play that might have gone for naught and turns it into a nice gain, 5 yards.
Mike Fasati, far to the right-hand side. Hilton should be throwing. Now he gives it off Freddie Edwards. He blows his way for another first down all the way out to the 43-yard line.
Well, it's quite clear what the game plan is at this point. They have got the saddle is on number 15, and he is going to be the leader of the Antelope pack, and he's going to pull the sleigh tonight. I understand it's snowing in Canyon Country tonight.
That's right.
Where Canyon is playing Eisenhower, the #1 rated team in the nation. Of course, if you believe that you can have national polls on high school football. I'll talk about them in a second.
4-star general, huh? There's Acosta up the middle for short yardage. And boy, for some reason or other, that fullback trap play is not working tonight, Brian.
Well, they know that number 15 is the guy who can hurt him. Number 34 is the guy who can hurt him blocking for number 15. You know, it's interesting. Harry Welch made that comment that it was like playing a junior college team. Eisenhower had so much talent. But the way Harry runs his team, for Eisenhower, it's like playing a Division I team. They have a year-round program. They recruit, they bend the rules, they cheat, they have ineligible players, and they can win their case in court against the NCAA. So, I mean, who's at a disadvantage here?
2nd down and 7 coming up. There is Freddie over the left-hand side. Short yardage, and they ram him out of bounds. Boy, they did some late hitting. No flags along the sideline.
You know, that's a nice play. Two of the fine athletes on the field tonight, number 15 in red, Freddie Edwards, and number 48 in white, Frankie Russell. And watch them meet here head-to-head. They get out of bounds. They both get up, and just as the replay ended there, they patted each other on the back as they went back to their respective huddles. You really like that when you have two competitors on the elite level of two young men like this, and they understand the nature of the game and the nature of the competition, and they're great sportsmen about it. That's good to see.
It is. 3rd down and 4 at the 48-yard line. Lopes trail 10-3. They send Freddie Edwards to the right. He gets behind the block. Oh, they smell it coming and hit him down for a 1-yard loss. Great pursuit out there in quickness, led by
Jason Powell again, Bob. You've been calling his name a lot on defense.
Troy Cooks was also out there.
They simply outnumber the Lopes at the point of attack, and then it's Powell that finishes off Freddie Edwards, this time short of the 1st down.
Very dangerous now as Peter Holt goes back to punt into a stiff wind, to say the least. Good snap. Here comes the 2-man rush. Gets off a pretty good punt downfield. McKenzie lets it bounce this time. Surprisingly, inside the 25 to about the 22-yard line.
30-yard kick by Peter Holt, but boy, I'm surprised. That time, Kevin McKenzie was so aggressive in going after the last kick, which was much tougher to field. This time he lets it bounce and gives Peter Holt an additional 6 yards downfield on the punt, which totaled out to be 30 yards.
1:34 till halftime. It's 10-6, the score. The Bruins from Long Beach Wilson on top of the Antelopes. Round number 2 of the CIF football playoffs.
Bob, the winner of this game will get the winner of the Eisenhower Canyon game in the CIF semifinals next week.
Boy, wouldn't that be something? Gets tougher as they go along. There goes McKenzie to the outside. Can they string him out? No, just barely. I think he's close enough for the 1st down. They got over there and really put a hit on him.
Richard Lear was on the stop, but again, you saw Kevin McKenzie using speed to defeat the angle of pursuit that some of the Lope defenders had on him, and he simply got to the outside. I think maybe this young man's speed is a little bit deceptive. We've seen him running inside a little bit tonight. We're approaching the 1-minute mark in the 1st half. There is a timeout on the field, though. Well, this is interesting. We'll see if they want to use this wind, because they will have the option to receive the football in the 2nd half. It'll be interesting to see whether they let Brady Dunn load it up and take a couple of long shots downfield.
Okay, with 1:03 till halftime, the score. The Bruins 10, the Antelopes 6. We'll return after these messages. Forget we'll have our A1 trophy pick of the top Antelope star on the post-game show tonight. We want to thank Ken McGowan at A1 Trophy down at Elm and Lancaster Boulevard for handing these out, these donated trophies, for about the past 16 years. Stop by and give him some business. Tell him to thank him for all he's done. McKenzie coming to the right-hand side. He has a big hole, has the 1st down, and is rustled down to the turf out there by Fasati. Not until he moved the stakes. Another 1st downer.
They're moving, and of course, with this kicker, Baldwin, they may not need that much yardage, Bob, in order to have an attempt at another scoring play.
Yeah.
Watch this again. Countered. They pull the 2 guards out again. A nice piece of running behind his blockers by McKenzie.
Another 1st down. Just the 41. They draw a play. McKenzie tries to jitterbug outside. Goes to the left. They string him out, and he is going to turn the corner and still picked up about a 4-yard gain. Great running by McKenzie.
Did not quite get out of bounds, though, and they're going to have to burn a timeout here to stop the clock. But again, nice piece of elusiveness, as you said, Bob, by Kevin McKenzie, who looked like he was going to be stopped well behind the line of scrimmage, and instead comes up with a 7-yard gain, and the ball is now out to near the 48-yard line. So we saw this young man make a 37-yard field goal earlier tonight, but with this wind at his back, if he hits it right, he could be a threat for well beyond 40.
Kick it over the girls' gym from there.
Are those jackets nice looking or what?
Oh,
we had one
beautiful.
modeled by Todd Kunkel, our production assistant,
Yeah.
who's down there on the sideline with Lori Losi, Brent Newcomb, and Marco Johnson.
You know, Brian, excuse me, I talked to Marco just before the game, and he says he was 82 degrees in Hawaii today. Of course, that's where he went to school.
Yeah, well, with the wind chill, it was 79.
Yeah.
So.
And, of course, Walter Briggs is up here in the press box, too, also.
Walter was visiting, a former All-American Rainbow Warrior defensive back. Hawaii is, I understand, one of the schools is interested in Freddie Edwards. Actually, maybe we ought to say list the number of schools who aren't interested in Freddie Edwards. That's a much smaller group right now.
You could count them on one hand.
But he has a number of recruiting trips set up. The main thing for him, Bob, though, is he is very concerned about his grades, and that man right there is going to help Freddie Edwards to stay on the straight and narrow. Marco Johnson, who 10 years ago this time, he was the young 17-year-old high school football star. And 10 years later, made was college educated, has wonderful career opportunities, and is coming back to help somebody else follow that same path of success that he had. I think that's really nice.
It really is. Ashley, the guy that had that touchdown reception, is wide to the near side for Dunn. Dunn will be looking for him. He looks, pumps, steps up in the pocket, throws. Here's Ashley open. He makes the catch. He's over the 50 to the 45 and going to run out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Ashley just stood around wide open, nobody near him.
Well, Ashley was the safety valve receiver. The other receiver on that side, Jimmy Hicks, cleared out deep. And a nice piece of keeping his head here by Brady Dunn, as he simply stepped up away from the pursuit, finds his receiver Ashley, and Ashley is able to run on a steep enough angle to get far enough downfield to the 41-yard line and set up another first down. And we have 28 seconds left. See, the play is meant to go deep here. Now he's got Carl Taylor in his face, steps away from Carl, and Ashley gets another first down.
Keith Shealy out there, the sophomore inside linebacker for the Antelopes. Here's Dunn, a deep drive, might be setting up a screen. Does, fires one out there, caught there by McKenzie. He has a wall up in front of him, and he has also the first down. Down near the 30-yard line, just inside up to about the 27.
Boy, Bob, that's one of the prettiest executed and conceived screens we've seen on the Game of the Week this year. As watch this again, nice setup by Dunn, gets the three blockers out front. And then actually the play would have gone for more yardage. You saw that McKenzie stumbled as he tried to speed up. Timeout has been called by Long Beach, so there's 17 seconds left in the half. And that's George Fetters on his way out to talk to his defense. The ball is resting on the Antelope Valley 30-yard line. It's 10-6, Long Beach Wilson leading the Lopes in the second round of the playoffs. And Bob, some of the other games tonight, Tehachapi is playing Whittier Christian down in Orange County in a rematch of the CIF title game at Bakersfield College in Division 9 last year. Linfield Christian is hosting Roseman at Temecula. And Antelope Valley Christian is playing Ambassador Christian
at the college.
And that's at Antelope Valley College tonight. And the only other Golden League team that is in their Golden League for legal purposes only is Canyon High School, and they're playing Eisenhower. And Bob, all week this week, I saw those I Like Ike buttons all over the high desert. I thought that was a great show of a sense of fairness.
Yeah.
How about these people, young people, trying to keep warm here on the sidelines tonight?
I think that it's just about impossible. So we have 17 seconds left in the first half. The Bruins from Long Beach Wilson on top of the Antelopes from AB High School, 10-6. Kicking game has made the difference so far in this first half for the Bruins. Field goal and the point after. Dunn is back to throw. Pump fakes. Sets up again. Fires a shot. It's tipped and tipped again and intercepted. Here comes Freddie Edwards with that football. He tries to pick up a convoy. He's going to try to get out of bounds. Now he's killing the clock, and down he goes at about the 14-yard line. 2 seconds to go on the clock. Boy, that ball was tipped twice right into the hands of Freddie Edwards near the goal line.
Classic tip drill, and typically whenever AV does a tip drill, whether on the practice field or the Friday night field, Friday Night Freddy is around. Watch this again, throwing deep down the middle. Two players get their hands on the football. I don't know who he was throwing that for. It looked like Eric McQuown was the second player. And then Freddie tried to pick up some blockers here, but good pursuit by Long Beach to keep that play from going upfield, and that's the half.
There's the half, ending this exciting first 24 minutes of action out here. The score 10-6, and the Bruins on top of the Antelopes. And boy, I'll tell you, Brian, the Antelopes are going to have to get back in that locker room and regroup, play catch-up football here in the second half.
Well, I have to give some credit to the visitors. They had a long ride up here today, and they're not used to this weather, but they're staying right there with the Lopes.
Anything could happen here in the second half. Again, Jones Intercable bringing you the action.
For a while this year, it's a pleasure to welcome to our microphones at halftime Chris Jurgensen, now at the University of Utah. Chris, tell us about that remarkable streak you had of nailing every three-pointer you tried all over the place earlier this year.
Oh, I had a good season. The snapper and holder working good. Went through 4 games, finally ending out 8 for 8, leading the nation at one time during the year, and ran into some problems later on in the year, but still ended out with a good season and a team with the best winning season since about 10 years for University of Utah.
What is the memories like when you come back here? I guess Utah gets a little cool too, but what's it like to come home to the alma mater and see this kind of weather in the playoffs?
Oh, this is cold, but since we played our last 2 games at 15 degrees, this is a little bit warmer than we had, but never seems to get calm in the Antelope Valley, but the field looks good. Good conditions tonight, so good chance to see a 60-yard field goal attempt. So.
Only from left to right, though. Did you and Peter ever talk shop about kicking? He succeeded you here. Did you guys ever get a chance to compare notes?
Oh, yeah. We went to kicking camps together. I was pretty much the one starting him out, and right off the bat, he was really good with form, good learn. You know, he's learned fast. He's really got it down. I was up here yesterday, watched him kick a little bit, and we're really good friends. He's a really good guy.
Now that, of course, when you were here, you remember the great tradition of Division I players that come out of the AV program. Now you're there and you're inspiring other kids. As you think back, what did it help you to get to where you are now? The experience you had in high school football at Antelope Valley High.
Oh, I think just the tradition, like you say about Antelope Valley, it's always been a winning season. My sophomore year, first year I played, Ron Whipple, Sean Grimes attack, Tommy Smith, Eric Mortensen, all the big guys. It's get into college, and I was already coming from a big team. It was almost like college ball already, so it was an easy jump. I wasn't very nervous or anything else, but I come back now, and it looks like they got the Freddie Edwards attack, lots of different attacks every year, so it looks good.
Chris, it's good to see you. Best of luck, and hopefully we'll get to see you kicking in the Holiday Bowl. Get those Utes out here as WAC champions sometime in the near future.
There we go. Thanks a lot.
Chris Jurgensen, who's now having a fine collegiate career at the University of Utah. Let's go back upstairs right now to Bob McEwen.
Okay, thank you very much, Brian Golden. And Chris, boy, I'll tell you, what an outstanding football player he has been here at AV High School and also up there in Utah. Well, let's recap the scoring here in the first half. The Antelopes got the opening kick, second half kickoff right after these messages, so stay with us. Thank you very much, Brian Golden. Holtz kicking into that stiff wind, whether he'll go high or drive it low along the ground and get some roll out of it. He does. He gets that line drive hopper, and it bounces through the first up team. They pick it up on the 20-yard line and run out over the 30, still on their feet to the 45-yard line. A great run back there by the Bruins.
Boy, that was on the up team. Murdzawika, Tendal Muradzika. Let's say that way. I think that's how it's. Here's how it's spelled. Muradiziwka. Anyway, 22 yards in any language was the return. A nice field position, 1st and 10 at the Long Beach 45.
All right, here comes the Bruins. They lead in the ball game 10-6 as we start the first play from scrimmage, third quarter. Second round of the CIF. Here they go to McKenzie over the right-hand side, and he blows his way inside the Lope territory to the 47.
Gain of about 8 yards on first down for Kevin McKenzie, unofficially in the first half.
Dreyer did a great job hitting him down along with Shealy.
McKenzie with 9 carries for 66 yards in the first half. That's official, by the way.
They mark it at the 48-yard line. It's second down and 2 yards to go for the Bruins. Had a great first half, especially the kicking game. Dunn to McKenzie going left behind a wall of blockers. They string him outside, turns the corner of flags down. We might have a holding call. That might bring it back.
Boy, this is a nice run by Kevin McKenzie. Sets up his blockers and then turns on the Jets to the outside. But again, just as Freddie Edwards had a 32-yard gain negated by an unnecessary illegal block well behind the play, I think we're going to see that happen here again. Already well down the field is McKenzie for a gain of more than 20 yards, but there is a clipping penalty behind the play against Long Beach Wilson, which will bring it all the way back.
Well, it's a big break for the Antelopes because the momentum definitely was in the hands of the Bruins as they went to the locker room, and they came right out roaring.
Brady Dunn, Bob, in the first half, unofficially 3 of 10 for 63 yards, but 42 of that was a touchdown pass to Richard Ashley.
So they put it at the 42-yard line. It'll be second down coming up and 12. Ashley, that had that touchdown reception, is wide right. They go on this double wing. Here they comes to McKenzie. He hits at the 45-yard line, and boy, they drill him, and down he goes. Dreyer led the hit along with the Jet was out there once again.
Richard Lear crashing from the corner spot.
Bergener, too.
Gust of wind full of Antelope Valley dirt being relocated somewhere else. Again, they pull at 2 guards. And
also
Renfro,
too.
was also over there, number 32 on the stop with Bergner. So after all of this, backwards and forwards, it's going to be 3rd down and a long 8 for the Bruins.
At the 46-yard line, Poyer, lone setback behind Brady Dunn. Dunn's back to throw now, has time, fires a shot over there, and it goes in and out of the hands. It should have been caught. One-on-one, and boy, I'll tell you, he drilled that shot. And it was intended for Joseph Hunter, his brother.
Watch this again. He gets great separation on the side of the route. A nice throw, nice tight spiral. You know, Bob, it's easy to sit up here and and complain that ball should have been caught, but I'll tell you what, that wind really is unnerving down there on the field. I can imagine down on the field where there's nothing to impede its progress at all. That's a difficult ball to try to concentrate on. Give credit to Brady Dunn, though. That was a heck of a throw. He has really done a nice job of throwing the football. Of course, in the 4th quarter, he's got to throw it into the wind.
Ashley back to punt. And a fake punt that time, and they run it this time. Where's he going around the left-hand side? Picks up a wall of blockers. He could go up. Freddie Edwards misses him. He goes all the way home for a touchdown. Man, oh man, a razzle-dazzle fake punt, and he went all the way for the score.
Shelby Nelson gets the touchdown.
Boy.
That was a 54-yard run with a punt snap by Shelby Nelson, and it's a 16-6 lead for Long Beach Wilson. This is just the tail end of the play. He has already run all the way from the other side of the field, and at the end affixes the punctuation, the exclamation point, by running right through a Freddie Edwards tackle. Oh, what a big play by the special teams for the Bruins of Long Beach Wilson.
Prince will try the point after. It's down. The kick is up. No, that is Baldwin. Baldwin drills it through, and it is good. 17-6 now. And boy, the catch-up football is going to really be tested right here by the Antelopes.
Boy, AV's walking around like they just got shot with a gun that they didn't know was even on the field. This is just a wonderful piece of invention on the special teams. The snap to Nelson. He took the ball from the right side of the field, had to beat that first wave of Lopes out to the left side, but what he did, he took off down the sideline, and it was a 54-yard touchdown for Shelby Nelson on the special teams. And boy, doesn't that put a different face on this game, Bob. 9:38 to play in the 3rd quarter, 17-6 for the Long Beach Wilson Bruins.
Well, we found out that at halftime, like you say, Eisenhower leading Canyon 23-0, and the Lopes trailing big here 17-6, with the momentum definitely in the hands of the Bruins.
Well, now again, the importance of the special teams, because you do not want to give Freddie Edwards a chance to make an exciting play. And there's number 15 awaiting the kickoff from Pat Baldwin.
Baldwin is the number 2 kicker. Prince obviously has been injured. Gets off a high kick, Flakes, and Edwards fields it near the goal line, and he fake it over to Flakes. No, Edwards keeps it straight ahead and runs it out near the 18-yard line, maybe the 17. For a while, that play was so slow developing there, Brian.
Well, it's so slow developing that it gave the coverage team time to get down and make the stop on Freddie Edwards, short of where he would have been had he let that football go into the end zone. We'll spot it at the 17-yard line. Great height on this kick by Baldwin, and then a very slow here before they decide what they're going to do with the coming out of the huddle play that we saw Chris Econ break for a touchdown last week for the Loyola Cubs.
Near the 16. Here comes Freddie running with great acceleration around the left-hand side and going to be blasted out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Well, there'll be nothing fancy, not a whole lot of subterfuge in the second half. We saw Eddie Tassas going up to the coaching crow's nest, and he said, keep it on the ground. And they're going to keep it on the ground with this young man right here. Again, great second effort by Freddie Edwards. Takes the initial contact, does not lose ground, but in fact absorbs that hit and then falls forward to pick up another 2 yards instead of a 2nd and short.
The Bruins didn't get to be 9-2 and 5-0 in the Moore League champions for nothing. Here is the handoff to Acosta, the fullback, and they bang him down. Boy, that play is not working at all tonight, Brian, from the fullback position.
They're just controlling the line of scrimmage so effectively that there's not a whole lot of room for Carlos Acosta to run here. He tries to get in behind the block there from the guard who was pulling to the other side. That was Jeff Sponenberg, but the Long Beach defenders were too quick to get behind Jeff and get on the ball carrier. No gain, if anything, a loss of a half a yard, perhaps.
I don't know whether Acosta sees a hole over that right guard position or not. Maybe he ought to go up the middle a little more. High pitch to Freddie Edwards. Sweeps around the left-hand side. Has a big hole. Runs it all the way out to the 36-yard line. First down.
And an excuse me ankle tackle by Joseph Hunter, number 6, or Freddie Edwards might still be running right now. Watch this again, how close Freddie is to being down on this play. Breaks the tackle, then bang. Just as he gets ready to turn on the accelerator, that's when it was Hunter getting him around the ankles here. Watch number 6 is laying on the ground and just reaches back almost as an afterthought. Big play on defense.
Pitch to Freddie Edwards around the left side. This time he turns the corner and banged out of bounds near the 40-yard line. They set him back there as the lone setback, and you know it's easy to key on a guy when he's the only guy back there, Brian.
Well, you know, it's interesting if Freddie can demonstrate some productivity here running the ball like this. Bailly Hilton is certainly capable of a play fake and trying to make something happen with Rodney Flakes. I don't think they'll try to do it right now with Mr. Wind in their face, but fourth quarter, that might be an interesting play.
Flakes is wide right. Fasati in the slot next to him. Now Hilton's back to throw, looking for him. Flushed out of the pocket. Down. He fires one out there on a flip pass, and it goes incomplete. There's a flag down, and are they going to say, did he ground it?
Well, I wonder if they'll call this. He was throwing it away to avoid the loss. It was a blitz, and the guy who was coming up the gut was Brian Poyer, number 47. There's Poyer chasing him to the outside.
And McKenzie.
And then McKenzie, and then it was the little shot put routine out there, and the only receiver near it was Jimmy Hicks, the cornerback, number 24, for the Bruins. So they're talking to the defense, so the call's going to be against the red. No, they're going to say that flag was thrown erroneously. Sure it was. That's why it was thrown 15 feet in the air. Oh, yeah, it just fell out of my pocket.
Well, the wind might have picked it up and just kind of sucked it right out of his pocket there.
The wind may have turned that short slant into the post pattern. But
7:41 to go. We're in the third quarter. It's 17-6. The Bruins lead the Antelopes.
By the way, Dave Desmond, we were talking about, the gentleman who's here from the Valley section of the Times, reports to us that with that last carry, Freddie Edwards is now over the 100-yard mark for the evening.
Which he's been there many times this year and last. Passing down, looks like coming up here by Hilton. Boy, the rush is on. He's going to be sacked for the third time here tonight. Down he goes.
One of the last to unpile, DeMarco Ford, number 44, also over there in on that play, was Philip Harris. Again, maximum blitz, and Bailly Hilton's going to have some guys open, but he's got to get rid of the football. Frank Russell, again, one of the first people to make contact there, blitzing up the middle. And Bailly Hilton dropped, 4th and 10, and Peter Holt will have to kick it away.
DeMarco Ford also in on it. Peter gets off a high punt, towering punt. Ashley's not going to get it, and they're going to let it bounce back upfield, and it took a Bruin bounce, and they lost about 5 yards on the hop there, Brian, not covering that. That'll
only go as a 15-yard punt, and the nose of the ball will be sitting right on the midfield stripe. So field position and 6.5, or just under 7 minutes to play in the third quarter with the wind at their back, and we're going to see the Bruins have a chance to make something else happen here. 14-yard punt that time by Peter Holt. Now the wind pushes the ball across the midfield stripe. They'll try to snap this thing again. Well, they picked up a yard with the wind.
Dunn's been throwing a lot here in this ball game. He gives it off to McKenzie, sweeping the left-hand side, tries to turn the corner, does, gets outside of a tackle, going to be hit down after getting a first down of about a 12-yard run.
Boy, what a nice play out here by Kevin McKenzie, because as he stepped a couple of yards upfield, one of the Lopes came up, might have been the right cornerback, and he simply dipped in and then out and lost him and made it a 12-yard gain. Watch it here, sets him up, great move there. It was Richard Lear crashing to the inside, and then Freddie Edwards and Eric McQuown out there to finish him off. But a nice piece of running there. Kevin McKenzie got off to a bit of a slow start in this game today, but he has really been running well here the last couple of quarters for the Bruins.
Eric McQuown, our A1 trophy pick in the Quartz Hill game, along with Eric Thomas. This 2 weeks ago.
Timeout called on it's an official's timeout here. I think there's a problem with the clock. Now they get it started. They say he wasn't out of bounds over there, so they will allow the timepiece to run.
Oh, the Antelopes need a turnover here in a hurry. Need something to happen. They dive, their fullback running them straight on ahead, and that looks like that was McKenzie again with the call.
McKenzie, an inside handoff, and found room to the outside and adjusted nicely and was on his way for what could have been a sizable gain. But Chris Walters makes a nice play here to trip him up as he makes the cutback move to the outside. and hold that to a gain of perhaps 3 yards. And McKenzie could have broken that, as we saw earlier, for a 12-yard gain or something even bigger than that.
6 minutes to go, third quarter. It's 17-6. The Bruins on top, and look at that dust storm coming out of there, Brian.
Welcome to the Dust Bowl. Next week, the Southern California Bowl with the Marauders.
Looks like we're up in Trona.
The Dust Bowl with the Lopes.
At the 35. They need 8 to go. This time McKenzie goes to the right side. Has a big hole. He rams it on over the 30 inside about the 32-yard line.
That's real close to another first down.
Renfro made the hit on the play from his linebacking position, along with Dreyer, who's done a good job tonight. Blocked that punt, and they didn't even count that
But
one.
Bob, you see the mobility and the strength of this Long Beach Wilson line as they're pulling guards either left or right to the other side of the field, and they are keeping Lope defenders from making contact with the ball carrier until he's several steps upfield.
Douglas Lozer, 6'3", 250-pound junior, is their biggest man they have at right tackle. Other than that, the Lopes really outweigh them.
They are going to measure this one right now. Again, a reminder that it sounds like "I like Ike" is the operative phrase of the evening, and we can say goodbye to Harry Welch. And if the door doesn't hit him on the fanny on the way out, certainly the folks from Rialto Eisenhower are doing that. First down by the nose of the football. Nice piece of running again by Kevin McKenzie. The winner of this game moves on to play, in all likelihood, Eisenhower next week in the CIF semifinals. Next week, the one-year anniversary of Quartz Hills. Storybook finish to their season, getting to the finals last year. The final game didn't turn out the way they'd like, but on balance, the sum of the season was really remarkable.
Daniel Marino, what a famous name. Their center, he's 6 foot, 220 pounds, and of course the guards Bishop Cohen and Larry Harris. So it's a first down and 10 after that measurement. As done. This time the flags are down. They handed it off to Frank Russell, but they blew it dead before they could get untracked.
Bob, again, Dave Desmond from the Times tells me that with that carry, the young man Kevin McKenzie is now over 100 yards for the evening. Also 15 carries and 106 yards on the evening for the running back from Long Beach Wilson. That time he was out front to block for Frankie Russell, but there was a motion penalty, and that'll cost him 5 yards. One of the few things that's gone wrong here in the third quarter so far for the visitors from Long Beach.
They got everything going for them. The ground game and the aerial attack, and also the kicking game here tonight. So they're playing this wind to their advantage. Dunn has the ball on his hip, rolls out, has time, rushes on. So it is intercepted. And it looks like is it Renfro? Runs the ball back upfield, and boy, that's the turnover that the Antelopes desperately needed and waited so long for.
Exactly, Bob. Gee, I wonder what Brady Dunn thought he was looking at there, because when the ball was intercepted, there were just 3 red shirts around the football. Watch this again. They pull the guard out here, a little moving pocket, sets up, nice throw. I guess he thought he was going to have Ashley down the field and just did not throw that ball hard enough. Nice return by Renfro of about 17 yards, and we'll see if the Lopes can turn this into some real momentum and points.
Heath did a beautiful job, made a circus catch on that. Freddie Edwards coming left, looks for the blocking he needs. They hit him out of bounds, short yardage, maybe about 3 yards.
Well, we saw Freddie Edwards run this short side of the field play for a long touchdown of 55 yards against Saugus. The last time the Lopes ran into this type of a team that they're playing tonight in the Long Beach folks who run that Delaware wing T.
Graham Hill goes wide right. The tight end is Garrett Dow. He used to go to the tight end more often in their passing game. The old Lopes team. Freddie Edwards up the middle, spins, turns, runs his trip of about 4 yards up near the 44-yard line.
Frank Russell had fallen down in his path, and Freddie could not really step and accelerate, simply had to spill or sprawl forward, but he did pick up another 4 yards and sets up a 3rd and 3 situation, and this is a play the Lopes are going to have to convert here. Counteraction off the left side.
Booker.
Russell was around the ankles.
Big play right here. 4:13 to go. They pitch Freddie Edwards to the left side again. This time he has the first down and hit out of bounds inside the Bruin territory at about the 49. First down. Boy, they're sweeping to that short side, Brian. Are they trying to set something up here?
That is a 21st, 22nd carry of the night for Freddie Edwards. He only carried the ball 11 times in that Quartz Hill game 2 weeks ago.
You know why? They didn't have their hands on the ball. Quartz Hill controlled it all night.
Well, they thought when they did have it, they threw it too many times. That will not be the mistake they make tonight.
Flakes wide left to Acosta up the middle this time. Maybe about 1 yard. So Acosta, 5'10", 206, a junior. He'll be back next year, as will Hilton, the quarterback.
Simple dive play, and Jason Powell, who's been winning a lot of battles along the line of scrimmage tonight, crashing from that left defensive tackle spot to make the stop for the Bruins.
Vasati wide right in the slot next to him, Rodney Flakes. They pitch to, here comes Freddie over the left side this time, and is going to be hit down near the 45-yard line.
Boy, this is another wonderful play by Freddie Edwards where he gets all of the yardage on his own. I got to think this is a little bit frustrating. Watch this on replay. Carl Taylor pulls and just can't get out to the boundary fast enough to block the cornerback coming up. I think that was number 24, Jimmy Hicks. So Hicks gets out there and makes the one-on-one play on Edwards, and Edwards runs him over for a 5-yard, 6-yard gain. That's got to be a little disheartening or discouraging for the defender to make that play and then simply have a guy that you've been told is a great finesse player to go to the resort to power to run you over.
I think they need to throw to the tight end. Here comes Freddie Edwards on the left side again. This time he loses the football, and it's going to be Bruins ball unless the Antelopes can get on top of it. No, big break.
They have the football.
The Bruins, instead of Brian falling on top of it, they try to pick it up and run with it. That cost them.
That was Graham Hill, I believe, out there that picked that football up, number 24, and averts total catastrophe here. Freddie carrying a little bit fast and loose. It gets kicked out of there, and the guy who had a chance to pick it up, the hero on special teams, Shelby Nelson, instead moves the football another 10 yards downfield and gives the Lopes a first down inside the Long Beach 30.
Target at the 25. And they give it off to the Bull up the middle. There goes Acosta this time, but he loses the football.
And Frank Russell's around it, and this time Long Beach Wilson makes sure that they have the pigskin. Frank Russell picks the pocket of Carlos Acosta, and a play after the Lopes dodged the bullet. That time they took one squarely where it hurts. Nice piece of second effort by Acosta, but you saw Frank Russell was simply working on getting the football torn out of there. He does, and another big turnover by the Lopes, and boy, those fumbles had just really killing AV at this point. Timeout as there is an injury.
All right, with 2:39 to go till the end of the third quarter, the score, the Bruins 17, the Lopes 6. Will return after these messages. Big turnover, and the Bruins have their hands on the ball again. Lopes just can't seem to get it together here tonight after scoring first. They give it off to McKenzie. He dashes up over the left-hand side for a good gainer out near the 25-yard line on the play, and they're going to blow this one dead here.
Well, for a second there, it looked like Kevin McKenzie might have the football get away too, but he does a nice job to adjust and make sure he's got the ball and sacrifice additional yardage to make sure of maintaining custody of the football there. He's got those gloves on. Actually, Bob, usually I have my doubts about gloves, but just from the time I was down at halftime talking with Chris Jurgensen, I couldn't feel a microphone after a couple of minutes.
That's right.
So they probably have a lot better traction by wearing those gloves and going with the bare hands.
At least the smart guys are wearing them. There, they give it off on the reverse, and that is Russell over the left-hand side. Boy, he got it from the slot back position. Turned the corner, but not for a very big gain.
Frank Russell, one of the better two-way athletes that we have seen on the Game of the Week this year. As we said, he came into the game having gained 640 yards rushing on the season, and he's much like, and it looks like it's Eric McQuown as the injured Antelope down on the field. They're going to go out and minister to him. But we have very rarely seen Frank Russell come off the field tonight. He plays that wingback position, and then he also plays defense as a linebacker, and he's the young man who recovered the fumble, which right now is the dagger poised at the heart. There's Brian Brooks, Brent Newcomb's stepson. They're on the left of the screen, and Chad Eberhardt on the right.
Yeah,
they're pursuing a baseball career down at Orange Coast College now. And, of course, his father, Mike Eberhardt, is in the record books, having been the lawyer involved in that Stephen Jackson case, the longest ongoing legal proceeding in California history, I believe it was, anyway. And also the guy who, along with his buddy Jim Slayton, brought the Valley a nightclub, which is a fairly hot spot these
Clubhouse
days.
41.
And Mr. American Legion Baseball in Lancaster, too.
That's right.
Chad's playing for let me see if I get this right now. I think it's his coach down at OCC is the son is the father of Brent Maine, who is one of the catchers with the Kansas City Royals. So
that's the one.
Good bloodlines.
Speaking of the Royals, what about Kevin Appier? The trade talks, maybe going to the Giants, huh?
Well, the operative question is, which team hasn't he been rumored to go to?
That's right.
When you got his kind of an arm and his kind of a future, that happens. But how about this for a scenario, Bob? The Dodgers trade Cal Daniels since the Royals lose Danny Tartabull to free agency.
Looks like it might be a knee.
Needs some help to get off the field here. And that's not a good sign. Mario Amara, number 74 on the right side there, and Robert Russo that we talked about, the phantom punter, helping him get off the field. We got to hope for the best right there with Eric McQuown. He's played a fine game tonight for the Lopes.
As the outside linebacker, that means Rodney Flakes takes his spot. It's 2nd down and 6 coming up. 1:42 to go. We're in the 3rd quarter. 17-6, the Bruins lead. Here comes McKenzie. He dances his way for about a 3-yard gain. And boy, I'll tell you, this guy is dangerous.
Well, if he took Carl Taylor on head up, it looked for a second like the ball might have been loose there, but Kevin McKenzie does a nice job of keeping everything under control here. They were trying to strip it out of there. I think it was John Bergner got a hand in there, but McKenzie fell on it and retains possession. Just to complete that thought, Bob, here, if Fred Clare might be, by some quirk of fate, Thunderbolt, listening, why don't you trade Cal to the Royals for Kevin Appier, because you need another pitcher.
That's right.
Now that you made the
after they got rid of 2 of their best aces, and Wetland too. All right, back to football. 59 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Here is Dunn back to throw. As time throws, the man is open. It's Ashley. Bobbles the ball. It goes incomplete. Fasati might have deflected it before the ball got to Ashley.
No, I think Ashley is looking at it saying, how many times am I going to drop passes when I'm wide open?
But I think we'll have to give Mike Fasati a little credit. We'll watch it again to see if he didn't get a hand on it.
It's a heck of a throw by Brady Dunn, right in his hands. Now, Bob, that was a drop. Of course, sometimes the defender will obstruct your path of vision, your field of vision at the football coming at you, but you've got to be able to concentrate and expect the ball to be there. And his receivers have really betrayed Brady Dunn tonight, but the wonder of it is that this group from Long Beach is good enough to hold a 17-6 lead despite all the drop passes.
Now, Ashley, it'd be kind of nice if he could drop this punt snap.
Well, these are the kind of completions that they make, though. At least they have at this point.
High snap. Oh. Got caught in the wind, and he shanked one. Right off the side of his foot. It's going to go nowhere, out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. Big break for the Antelopes again, but they haven't been able to cash in anything tonight.
Give Ashley credit for a 7-yard punt. Boy, he's having trouble with his hands, with his feet. He dropped that pass. They nearly tried to snap it over his head, and then he got off a 7-yard punt. But the question is, can the Lopes turn it into something positive here as they play the last 46 seconds with the wind in their face here in the 3rd quarter?
I have to think they're going to have to go to the air pretty quick here, Brian. He got to Acosta, and he loses the ball. It's on the ground, and let's see who's going to be on top of it.
Looks like the Lopes will retain possession. Acosta recovered his own fumble there. Well, the problem was in the exchange, Bailey Hilton ran into Carlos Acosta. Acosta, in his eagerness to atone for the last fumble, crashing right up the middle, and almost another problem.
24 seconds to go now. Hilton pitches to Freddie Edwards, coming around the left-hand side, cuts back toward the middle. Nowhere. Nothing doing up in front. They're going to hit him down. About a 1-yard gain. That's going to be about the last play of the 3rd quarter.
Good play by Matt Hewitt on the tackle, but good play here on the top of the screen or to the left of the screen by that Long Beach defense to not allow any cutback lanes. You saw Freddie was looking to reverse it and take it to the other side, but the Bruins were waiting for it.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, the Bruins 17, the Antelopes 6. And boy, we'll have our A1 trophy pick for the Antelope on the post-game show, and unless they can get something going, Brian, it might be the last one we'll be giving away this year.
This could be. By the way, Fred, if you're listening again, Cal Daniels to the Royals for Kevin Appier, because in 1987, when Kevin was drafted 9th in the nation by Kansas City, the Dodgers had the 7th pick that year, and they had their choice down to 2 players. Appier, kid an hour away in Lancaster, or Danny Opperman, a right-hander from Las Vegas who had an elbow that looked like a casserole. So what did the Dodgers do? They drafted the guy with no elbow. By the way, the other day, Danny Opperman was outrighted off the 40-man roster to the Albuquerque Dukes. So who knows if he'll ever make it to the big leagues. And Kevin Appier had another pretty good season this year and has already won 35 games in the big leagues before his 24th birthday. Not bad.
Not too bad. The guy that throws that heat up there in the 90s.
Same agent as Jose Canseco and also as Bobby Bonilla, Dennis Gilbert out of Beverly Hills.
And I used to take Kevin DeCamp over in Catalina when he was a little puppy.
Bob, you had a hand in all these fledgling careers.
12 minutes to go in the season for the Antelopes. They're going to have to do something, and boy, they're sacked by way upfield inside the Bruin territory. You'd think that progress would be called back a little bit further than that. They do. They've got to move it upfield. Hey, do we have a flag upfield?
I think they might have just thrown a beanbag there to determine the forward progress spot.
Hewitt really rammed him right into the turf.
That's 2 big plays in a row from Matt Hewitt.
So the Antelopes have to score on this drive, Brian. There's just no ifs about it. Holt's going to go back to punt, though. Yeah, this time he gets a rocket way up there, and Ashley's going to wait for a fair catch, and they're going to let it go in the end zone, and it'll be a touchback on the 20.
Well, there's a 47-yard punt gross, but with a 20-yard return, it's a 27-yard punt net.
Brian, I was kind of disappointed there. I thought they'd put on the fake punt just an answer back what the Bruins did moments ago. They got to hang on to this football.
Well, they got to hope that they get some help from the elements now, because it's Long Beach lads who are going to have to run right into the teeth of this wind, as they'll have the wind in their face in the fourth quarter.
They got the break on the big interception by Renfro moments ago and couldn't cash it in. It's 11:15 to go in this ball game, and once again the Bruins have their hands on the ball, but they're going into this wind now. Dunn's done a nice job at quarterback here. Only a junior. This time, he gives it right up the middle, and boy, he is racked up hard.
Looks like the ball's
loose. It might have been Poyer.
And we'll see how they spot this. This may be AV ball.
Chris Walters comes out from under the pile with it.
It is Antelope Valley ball.
There's the break they've been talking about. Chris Walters picked it up.
Chris Walters comes away with the football. I think it might have been Carl Taylor that stripped it out of the hands of Kevin McKenzie.
And also the Lear Jet was in on that hit as well.
Give Carl Taylor credit for the pick, or for the strip, I should say. And Chris Walters on the football, and there's the break the Lopes need. They get the ball inside the Long Beach 20.
At the 18-yard line. Big play. And we'll be picking our A1 Trophy pick on the post-game show. Again, our thanks to Ken McGowan at A1 Trophies. And Ken, I hope that you're going to be needing to make more trophies after this game tonight. The Lopes can pull this one out. We'll be making another one. It's going to be against the Bruins, personal foul.
Something was said in a dead ball situation, so they'll mark this off half the distance. So instead of 1st and 10 from the 19, the Lopes are going to have 1st and goal just inside the Long Beach 10-yard line.
Mm-hmm. And Jason Clark brings him out. Good to see that he has not been seriously injured. He's able to hang in there and keep playing. Of course, Eric McQuown is still questionable on the sideline. Freddie Edwards, the top of the eye. I'm sure that he's going to be getting the call right about here. You know, Bailey Hilton on that rollout, that fake draw, and then rolling out to the right has worked very well this year. Let's see if they'll try something new, because they're going to be keen on Freddie Edwards. They know that Acosta's been ineffective so far running with it.
Bob, I guess with the spot, they can get a first down with this next play.
Freddie.
1st and 1.
Around the right side, short yardage, but he's close to the 5.
And that's what the call is. Freddie Edwards down near the 5-yard line, but that will give the Lopes a first down. I think they were just checking the chains over there. The half the distance mark off. Would it take the ball past the first down marker? So this profits the Lopes, because it should give them a first down inside the 10. We'll see where they spot this football. And that's exactly what happens. It's 1st and goal for the Lopes
at the 5. So now they go to the full house backfield. First time tonight. Freddie Edwards over the right side, dances toward the end zone, spun and hit down, maybe at about the 3. They'll just go with Freddie, I think, in all 4 of these calls.
Hey, nice play there out there by Richard Ashley. With all the other problems, Freddie Edwards likes to make that spin move to the outside. He'll deceive you. You think you have him down, and he'll reverse off the pressure of you trying to tackle him and try to get away. And Ashley did a nice job at cutting Freddie's legs out from under it.
They put it at the 5. Freddie Edwards up the middle this time. Hit, and down he goes. Maybe no gain at all that time. They're going to have to lay off of him here, and somebody's going to have to do something with this football, Brian. They got to get it in the end zone.
That was a nice play out there by Jason Powell, number 62. And the big man around the ankles, Daniel Marino, number 58, the offensive center. Boy, that's a big play on defense. Now you're in 2-down territory, and the Lopes are going to take a timeout and discuss this thing. There's George Fetters, Marco Johnson to the right of the screen, head coach Brent Newcomb. Too bad they couldn't dress Marco.
I was going to say the same thing. Have him in there.
Bob, we do have confirmation, by the way. It was 82 in Honolulu today, but with the wind chill factor, it was all the way down to 75.
That's right. And the surfers were out in mass.
It's hard to believe that next weekend they will observe the 50th anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor. A guy that will be there representing the Antelope Valley Press, Bill Gillis, one of the survivors on December 7th, 1941. I've meant to talk to him about that this week. I'm not sure which ship he was aboard, but he is
on the Arizona.
Was it the Arizona?
I thought he was.
My goodness. Well, anyway, he will be over there reporting on the activities for us, and a number of other people from our valley and all over Southern California, all over the world will be there also.
Brian, they've lost yardage on those last two drives, and they find themselves out at the 6-yard line. Hilton might have to throw right about here. There he does. He rolls left. Can he outrun him to the end zone? Throws. Caught. Touchdown. Rodney Flakes gets the touchdown out there on a 6-yard pass from Hilton. That's something that they absolutely had to do.
Well, what do we tell you about Rodney Flakes being able to get open at opportune times? Nice little piece of tap dancing out here by Bailey Hilton to make sure he wasn't over the line of scrimmage when he released the pass. 6-yard touchdown pass, and we have 9:54 to play, and it's 17-12, Long Beach Wilson.
You think they'll go for the 2-point conversion right here? Might just as well, huh?
Think it's windy tonight?
I think. That's only Rodney's 3rd touchdown reception of the year after leading the Valley in catches. Posadi in motion to the near side. They're going for the 2-point conversion. Hilton rolls right, pumps, throws a shot. Caught in the end zone corner. They say no, incomplete. He's out of bounds. So they come up empty on the 2-point conversion, but they get 6. So with 9:54 to go in the ball game, the score of the Bruins 17. The Antelopes coming back. They have 12. We'll be coming right back. Not quite enough for the first down, they say. So it'll be 2nd down and less than the length of the football. With a lot of time to go, 5:48 left in the game. Bruins lead the Antelopes 17-12. That 2-point conversion would have looked good right at about now. That would be a separation of a field goal. But Peter Holt, with the wind at his back, could go for the tie. This time they straighten up Freddie this time, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage. His forward progress gave him about an extra 2 yards in the play.
Well, Jason Powell doesn't make the stop until Freddie Edwards has crossed the stripe for a first down.
No, it looks like
that
it
was
might
Carlos
have been
Acosta. Excuse me. The handoff inside. Freddie got a good look at it there from behind the pile. Of course, he's doing a wonderful job there, Bob, by simply being a decoy, because you know a number of people are following him everywhere he goes.
Hey, they got Sheely out there offensively. He's on a wing now. Be interesting to see what they do. A little bit of movement by the right guard for the Antelopes. It was Taylor, but they don't see it. Freddie Edwards turns it back upfield, breaks a couple tackles. He is hit down. A great gain inside the 50 to the 49-yard line. A big play by Freddie Edwards.
The ball was loose there. Let's see, though they say it was after he had hit the ground. Boy, there's another break for AV. This ball looked like it might have been a fumble here at the end. Look at the way he just sets the whole field up here, Bob. Turns on the Jets, breaks a tackle, breaks 2 tackles, and then gets popped by Russell. But it was after he'd hit the ground, and it's a pickup of 18 yards by Freddie Edwards and a first down at midfield.
The X-15 exploded over the 50-yard line. Hilton, this time to Acosta over the right side. He's going to about a 1-yard gain at the very best. Boy, he's been running tough here tonight. A 206-pound frame.
Nice play by the defensive end over there, Troy Cooks, that simply knifed across and cut Acosta's legs out from underneath it. Watch here, Carlos gets a nice spread, but then number 9, a nice push up the field. But then Cooks gets him around the ankles, and he can go nowhere else.
Lopes eating up a lot of clock. Freddie Edwards over the left side, maybe about a 1-yard gain as he got stacked up. McKenzie, along with DeMarco Ford, hammered him down.
Good penetration by linebackers Matt Hewitt and Brian Russell here to strip away some of the interference, and then the lineman up front can make the stop for Long Beach. Those guys have played a fine game defensively, too. Russell really been a standout tonight for the visitors.
Brian, I think it's time for the flea flicker. I think that they know that they can do it. It's worked so far this year. Hilton gives it off Freddie Edwards. He's knocked down for a yard loss on the play. You got to throw it.
That's Dan Marino again, number 58, who gets credit for the stop, but there were 3 white shirts around Freddie Edwards virtually at the same time he got the football. Timeout on the field. Antelope Valley want to discuss the situation here, looking at third and 11.
Of course, they flip that over, Brian. It looks like it's going to be fourth. That's bad news.
4th and 11, pardon me.
Will they punt it away and run the risk of not seeing the ball again the rest of the night, or will they try something here? Big risk, though, 9 yards.
Well, you know in the defensive huddle what they're talking about. Talking about Edwards being the major employer in the Antelope Valley, and Edwards being the major employer of the hopes of Antelope Valley High School football-wise. 3:49 left in the 4th quarter.
The first game that we did with the Antelopes this year at Mays Field, Rodney Flakes did the throwing on the flea flicker. Put one right on the money.
There's the cheerleaders who are happy to do any kind of movement because that'll make them less of an inviting target for the wind.
And Brian, you know, another thing, Passati was a quarterback last year, and you know he can throw the ball too. So
well, number 15 has played some quarterback too.
That's right. A lot of guys can throw that ball out there. So let's see what Brent Newcomb does right here. Very risky to give up this football on the punting route. No, they're not going to punt. They're going to go for it. This time looks like they have Renfro running out of a halfback position. This time Hilton's going to go back to throw. Pumps. Will he get it off? No, he's hammered down, and that could be it.
Give Ray Booker a lot of credit for perseverance. He chased from one side of the field all the way to the other to get after Bailey Hilton and put him down well short of a first down. Ray Booker, number 19, the defensive end on the near side. Nobody blocked him. Here he comes. And Bailey Hilton can feel him coming. And then the dive and the stop, 8 yards short of a first down. And 3:40 to play, and the clock moving here. And Long Beach Wilson's 17-12 lead suddenly looks a whole lot bigger.
4 tries there, Brian. They managed 3 yards. Really tough. 3.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Now, ball control. If the Bruins can hang onto the ball and get a couple of first downs, that'll be about all they'll need. Done. Back to McKenzie. McKenzie coming left. Can they trap him? No. They break out of a tackle. Misses Sheely, and out of bounds he goes at about the 33-yard line.
Nice piece of running again. They've been running outside so well with McKenzie all night. Sets up his blockers here nicely.
You're going to mark it at the 37.
Dips to the outside. Once he can get around Lear, then he's gone up the sideline, and Eugene Dreyer actually has not got up, still laying on his back down there in the sideline as he made the last hit on McKenzie just as he went out of bounds. So a 16-yard gain on that play by McKenzie, and more importantly, a first down and more opportunity to chew up what's left of the clock, which is 3 minutes and 9 seconds.
17-12 to go.
Here's Eugene
That's
Dreyer.
The score. They send Hicks in motion. Here comes that. Looks like it is. Ooh, what a shot he took over the right-hand side by Flakes. Flakes really hammered him, and Russell was running toward the end zone on that one.
Frank Russell has run so effectively on this play in the second half. The wing back on the right side. A lot of misdirection, a lot of confusion being created. Mike Vasati, a good hit on him to put him down there.
So we have 2:58 left in the season for the Antelopes, unless they can stop them and get it downfield and get a touchdown. That's as simple as that. So first down for the Bruins from Long Beach Wilson. .249 to go in the game. Dunn gives it off to McKenzie, or sweeps around the right-hand side, has a big hole, runs it toward the corner, has another first down. And, Brian, that's eating up a lot of valuable clock time.
Well, these guards have had a great night. A lot of mobility from Larry Harris, number 55, and David Lewandowski, number 76, getting out front, creating a convoy, the escort service out there. And really, the Lopes haven't been able to get a hand on Kevin McKenzie until he's been several yards upfield. Well over 100 yards tonight for that young man, number 30. The only mistake he made was throwing that option pass to Freddie Edwards.
All right, big play, first down. And it looks like Dunn just kind of running out the clock is all, as Shealy bounced right on top of him. Kind of a mix-up on the play, the way it looked.
Well, this must be a very satisfying feeling for some of these the seniors on this team who made the trip all the way up here last year to play at Quartz Hill and just got hammered 49-14. This year they find themselves in the Final Four of Division I football in Southern California, and that's, Bob, that's an elite that's got to rank with the elites in a number of states all over the country, in Texas or Michigan or Pennsylvania or Florida or Ohio, and they will be headed to the Final Four next week against most likely Eisenhower.
Unless we have a miracle for the Antelopes right here. Dunn gives it off to McKenzie, tries around the right-hand side, and he is going to be hit down for short yardage, but it's going to eat up just about all of that clock. We have 1:23 to go in the ball game.
I think this call is going to be against the visitors. Flag gets thrown right at Brady Dunn. We'll have to see whether it was something he did. The referee saying, come back here, guys. Let's try this again.
He might have said, just wipe your nose.
Illegal motion, probably on the right side of the formation for the Bruins of Long Beach Wilson. They got a 42-yard touchdown pass from Dunn to Richard Ashley. They got a 37-yard field goal from Pat Baldwin, and here in the second half, a 54-yard run with the punt snap by Shelby Nelson, and that's the difference in the ball game right now. The special teams really contributing. The defense has played well for the visitors also.
The Antelopes desperately need a turnover right here. Got to get this ball back. Dunn's back to throw this time. Sets up, swings one out there, and is caught by McKenzie. McKenzie runs it straight ahead, and it's going to set it up right in front of the goalpost. Boy, good job out there for tackling by Carl Taylor. Carl's been all over the field tonight, both offensively and defensively. Just watch him crash in there. He just causes havoc. He got to the ball, the quarterback, just when he unloaded the ball.
That pretty much tells the story of the evening. You know, they just get over there to the quarterback, and Brady Dunn unloads it for a nice gain upfield. We are under 1 minute to play in the fourth quarter from Mays Field.
And Brian, even though we had a three-way tie, we're going to break it right here now and announce the A1 trophy.
Okay,
victory.
Bob, tell us who our winner is.
That has gone both ways. Big number 66, Carl Taylor.
I think we can't go wrong with him. He has played a number of fine games anonymously in some cases, but a guy that's who plays just does not come off the field. Brent Newcomb was telling me the other day, how's that for a tailback tradition over generations? Marco Johnson over there with Freddie Edwards.
And Brian, we should say that there was a two-way tie for second. Freddie Edwards, of course, and Richard the Lear Jet. He just did a marvelous job as a cornerback. But Carl Taylor, going both ways tonight, just played his heart out.
And it's a nice way to be remembered. It's going to be tough for these kids. You know, they were freshmen the last time Antelope Valley played a playoff game here, a memorable victory over Canyon for the CIF championship in 1988 in Division II. And it's been that long, Bob, since this field has hosted a playoff game. And I know there's our A1 trophy winner, Carl Taylor.
Big number 66.
He would have liked to play at least one more game on this field, or one more game anywhere for that matter. But a fine career. This young man, I don't know if he's missed maybe 10 plays the last 2 seasons. He is just on the field for everything.
They need a turnover. Can they strip that ball away and get it and go all the way? Let's see. They're going to give it off to a draw. Looks like McKenzie jitterbugging his way, still on his feet, still going. Comes around the left-hand side and runs it all the way in. So that's the season. That's the end of it here for any Golden League teams, it looks like, tonight, unless Canyon was able to come back against Eisenhower. So McKenzie puts it out of reach now with 44 seconds to go. Runs the score up to 23-12.
1, 2, 3, 4. He breaks 4 tackles and gets in the end zone. A 17-yard touchdown for Kevin McKenzie to write the fitting conclusion to this impressive victory by the Long Beach Wilson Bruins. Boy, what a nice piece of running. How did he get away from those 3 guys?
Well, he's Houdini, just like Jake Harrell has been at Quartz Hill. So Baldwin will try to make it 24. Down on the tee, the kick is up. It's a line drive knuckler, and they say it still got over the crossbar, so it goes 24-12. Now the Lopes will just try to return it and hopefully make the game respectable by getting it all the way home.
Well, Bob, it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for us. Last year we were doing games of the week well into December. We even took the game of the week on the road, but it might be a premature end to our series this year.
Yeah, you got that right. Well,
we saw a very good team last week, Mater Dei. They are in the other half of the draw in Division I. And then in the bracket the Lopes are in, it is going to be Long Beach Wilson advancing to play Rialto Eisenhower in the semifinals for the CIF Division I playoffs next week. The winner of that game advances to Anaheim Stadium 2 weeks from tonight for the CIF Division I championship game.
And Brian, you can bring the salted peanuts when you come.
Okay.
Quite a night here. Well, nothing at all to hang their head over. The Antelopes made a good comeback this year, got to the second round, got up against a tough team from Long Beach. That's just the way it goes. The season comes to an end.
Well, these Lopes took their lumps the last couple of years. There's Freddie Edwards. We'll see if this young man can get something particularly special on his playing valedictory here in his varsity career.
Flakes picks it up near the 15-yard line, tries to get out of bounds. He does, just out over the 20 to the 26-yard line.
One of the great careers that the Lopes have ever seen. This young man came up as a sophomore 2 years ago, has had 8 scoring plays of 80 yards or longer in his varsity career, both offensively and defensively. And the player of the year certainly here in the Antelope Valley, and a young man that we will hear from somewhere on the Division I level next year. Now comes the fun part for Freddie Edwards to sort through all these scholarship offers that he'll have.
Yeah, let's see if Hilton's just going to keep throwing. Fires one out there. It is caught. There's the hick and ladder, and they try to get it outside, and down he goes. Short yardage. They must have watched that one as Freddie Edwards got the pitch.
Well, I don't know if there's anything that AB can do right now that Long Beach Wilson won't have an answer for. Flakes caught the football, and then here comes there's the hook and there's the ladder to Freddie Edwards, but because the ladder was so a little bit too tall, it allowed the defense to pursue to the play and keep Freddie from getting up the field. We have 11 seconds left to go. Bob McEwen is on his way down to the field for the A1 Trophy presentation. Bayou Hilton throws incomplete outside on the sideline. A nice diving effort to catch that football out there by Mike Fossati. So there are 6 seconds remaining in the season for the Antelopes of Antelope Valley, their first home playoff game in 3 years. But the visitors from Long Beach Wilson will be the victors and move on to the CIF Division I semifinals. And the crowd here at the behest of announcer Charlie Williams giving the Antelopes of 1991 a well-deserved hand. They have overcome an awful lot of adversity the last couple of years, and they're the only Valley team still left in the playoffs. Last play of the season, Bayou Hilton throws it out in the flat to Acosta. Ooh, good hit on him out there by Jimmy Hicks. There's the gun and the season. The game is over. Long Beach Wilson defeats Antelope Valley 24-12 to advance to the CIF Division I playoff semifinals. Antelope Valley got a 6-yard touchdown pass to Rodney Flakes from quarterback Bayou Hilton. The Lopes also got a 19-yard touchdown run by Freddie Edwards, but both point-after touchdown efforts failed. And it was all Long Beach Wilson in the second half, except for one fumble which led to that touchdown throw, which just narrowed the final score to 17-12. The decisive scoring play for the visitors was a 54-yard run with a punt snap out of a punt formation by Shelby Nelson with 9:38 to play in the third quarter. And that put Long Beach Wilson, which had a 10-6 lead at halftime, ahead 17-6. And then a final touchdown tacked on a 17-yard run by Kevin McKenzie, who was close to 150 yards rushing on the evening for the visitors from Long Beach. So our final score again here on our final Jones Intercable High School game of the week is Long Beach Wilson 24, Antelope Valley 12. We'll come back and meet Bob McEwen and Carl Taylor on our post-game show right after these words.
Well, on a sad note, the football season comes to an end, Carl, and you have nothing at all to hang your head over. You played an outstanding game and a great career here.
Yeah, we played a great game today, but a few mistakes killed us, and that's what hurt us today. But we have nothing to hang our heads over because we had a great season. We came back from 2 losing seasons, and we was co-Golden League champs this year and got to the second round, so we had a good season. We have nothing to hang our heads over.
Okay, it's been a cold and blustery night, and this football team that came up from Long Beach really had an outstanding running game.
They did. They ran those counters and those little traps, and they had they pretty good up front, and they had 3 good backs, and I just know it's pretty good. They was real good.
Okay, Carl. Well, thanks for the visit. Congratulations on being our A1 trophy pick.
Thank you.
Okay, Brian, step in here. Brian, the season's all over, and for the Jones Intercable crew, it looks like this is our finale.
Well, I'm sorry to see that, but it was an exciting year. We saw another outstanding player take his place in Valley football history in Freddie Edwards. And I think the important thing we witnessed here at Antelope Valley High School, Ralph Vandrow, the principal here, has really helped to get a renaissance of spirit at this school. We saw an awful lot of participation from the community, and I think these kids may have brought a lot of people back to AV football with the season they had this year as co-Golden League champions.
Well, it's been good working with you.
You too, and look forward to the 3rd season together next year.
Maybe basketball.
Although next year, how many schools may be doing 2 games of the week next year?
Okay, so for Carl Taylor and all the Antelopes and all the Jones Intercable gang, Brian Golden, I'm Bob McEwen, wishing you all a very good evening from Maysfield. The season is over.